Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Monologue Morning Digest with your host, Alan. As always, I ask that you guys please like, share the content, leave your comments, as well as subscribe. 45% of you that watch my videos, according to analytics, aren't subscribed. And it would definitely help me if you do. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so I can start doing some live content, as well as move the channel forward monetarily. You guys can help by doing that. All you have to do is subscribe. I also ask that you guys check out the links below. I have a link to my backup channel over on BitChute in case YouTube wants to get rid of me, as well as a couple options for donations via PayPal, as well as a Bitcoin wallet. No obligation, but it'll definitely help me moving forward. I ask that if you can, you do. Now, with that being said, I want to address the topic of birth certificates. If I were to ask you, who are you? What is your response as an individual going to be? Chances are you're going to respond to me with your name. Now, if you were to ask me that question 5 years ago, I would have told you I'm Alan. Now, if you ask me that question now, I'm going to tell you I have been led to believe my name is Alan, yet I make no claim to that name. And there's a reason why I say this. If you're born anywhere in this world, in a civilized country, you're going to be given a birth certificate. Now, that birth certificate, right, you think that gives you identity. When in fact, all that piece of paper does is make you a slave. And I'm about to explain this. How do you think the United States leverages loans from these countries like China? Okay? What are they giving China as collateral for these loans? The United States is insolvent. Okay? There's no way for us to pay back the loans that we keep taking out, yet these countries keep giving us more and more and more and more money. What you have to realize is the United States isn't giving anything solid like gold or silver or resources as collateral for those loans. Nay, they're giving you your identity, but it's not you. Let me explain. The day that you're given a birth certificate, you are entered into a system called the Maritime law. All right? And the Maritime system subverted the common law system in the middle of the night a long time ago when it was stolen away by congressmen while people slept. And what they did is they instituted this system of the Social Security number as well as the birth certificate. And in turn, did away with common law. And in fact, they did this to the United States as well. You see, most people think that we're living under a living document called the Constitution of the United States that was written by our forefathers. However, that itself was subverted to and replaced with an alternate constitution. Most people think they live in the free United States of America. That is a lie. You live in the corporation of the United States of America. When you look at your Social Security number, how is your name typed out? Is there any lowercase letters in it? When you look on your birth certificate and it's typed out, is there any lowercase letters in your name? All right, let's go look at a business license for a second. If you go and open up a business and you try to submit your business name on these documents with your business's name in lowercase letters, are they going to accept the document? You're probably wondering, why the hell am I harping on this? Well, it's key that you understand this right here. Is that by that document having your name in all capital letters, there's a reason for it. You see, your birth certificate and Social Security number turned you into a corporation on the day of your birth. And by you claiming that name, you are identifying with that corporation, in turn making you liable for everything that that corporation has done. The Social Security number now gives the corporation, the United States of America, the ability to operate under your corporate name, aka Alan. The government, by having that birth certificate and my Social Security number, and me consenting to it, even though it's unwilling, they now have the ability to operate under the LLC of Alan Michael Brasso and make decisions as my corporate entity that me, myself, am responsible for if I claim ownership to that name. And this is why it is very key. If you ever find yourself in a maritime court system and they ask you who you are, you never lay claim to that name. If a judge asks you, who are you? You have to say, I have been led to believe my name is insert name, yet I make no claim to that name. Now, it's very important to understand why this has been done. This has been done in order to literally turn the entire country into a vassal state of slaves. In turn, the government can pass all responsibility onto us as the individual when the government becomes insolvent. So, when China gives the United States loan after loan after loan after loan after loan, and the United States can't pay it back, China isn't worried about losing that money because they now have the right to every corporate entity inside the United States if the United States goes bankrupt, that is. Which means, technically, we are now vassals of the Chinese Communist Party simply because our birth certificates have been used to leverage loans as collateral. And people do not understand this at all. Okay, let me take this one step further. By entering into a maritime courtroom, you are setting yourself up to be bent over a barrel, and that's plain and simple. And you have to understand, you even claiming ownership of that name on your birth certificate or on your social security number is an illegal act in and of itself. Okay? It is against the common law. Okay? A human being cannot be a corporation, just as a corporation cannot be a human being. But they've perverted the entire thing. And they've done this on purpose because it gives them control. And we're born into this system. But it gets even deeper and darker than this. Because not only do they own your name, and not only did you consent to give our corporate government the ability to operate under your corporate alias and make you responsible for their decisions, you've also literally given them your DNA. Let me explain. Again, this dates back to the birth certificate. When you're born, what's on your birth certificate? How did you yourself sign as a signature the ability for the government to use your identity and LLC for their means? Well, it's because you did sign that document, and it was done with blood magic. When you're born, they put a footprint on that birth certificate. But what they don't tell you is that they prick your baby's foot 3 times right on the heel. This is literally satanic, and it's a contract between you, the unwilling participant, because you have to understand, I explained this earlier, there's a natural order in this world. God over Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, woman over child. The child, right, did consent to it because the person that is in charge of that child, that father, is responsible for that child and makes the decisions of that child under the natural order of God. Therefore, by you as a father consenting to let your child be placed into that maritime system and become a corporation, you yourself have consented to that ritual, to that contract, that blood magic pact that was made between your child and the powers that ought not be. And even though you yourself didn't consent to it when you signed that birth certificate, you did. Because your parents consented to it. And in turn, because of the natural order you yourself consented to it. And this is how they trap you into this system. And there is very, very, very few ways to escape from it. Because you have to understand, the entire existence of your life, you have been silently consenting to operating inside of this system. And they trap you. There is no way to exist as a natural citizen of this country and still operate as a normal person of society, okay? Because it removes you from all of the banking systems. If you want to do that legally, if you want to be a naturalized citizen of the United States, not the corporate United States, but the actual United States, you have to forfeit your right to Social Security. You have to forfeit your right to public utilities. You'd have to forfeit your right to everything that you use on a daily basis, because all of that is a signature owned and operated by the corporation of the United States of America, okay? What's interesting here is there are places in the continental United States where there are people who have removed themselves from the corporate United States of America, okay? There's Indian reservations out there that have done this, okay? They're completely independent, autonomous vessels of their own, but they do not enjoy any of the privileges that come from being part of the corporation of the United States, okay? It's inescapable at this point. Us as individuals are never going to be able to get out of this system without completely destroying it itself. But in order to understand what needs to be done, you have to understand the process that they went through in order to turn you into a slave, okay? By owning your DNA, by owning you, by you yourself being part of a blood ritual contract, they literally control you in more ways than you could possibly understand, okay? I'm not even sure of the implications that that contract, that birth certificate that's literally signed by your footprint and your blood as a baby, who knows what kind of metaphysical power that may have in this world. All I know is that once you recognize this, you can start to see the tools that this corporation uses on a day-to-day basis to manipulate your likeness and your corporate identity, and in turn making you into more and more and more of a debt slave on a day-to-day basis. All right, I hope that this gives some clarity to the whole what is a birth certificate, what is a social security number. In essence, your birth certificate and social security number change you from being an individual of this free land that is Earth, and it turns you into a vessel and a corporation and an entity, a vessel, an LLC of the corporate United States of America. There is no free United States of America. It is a corporation, not a country. It's very clear. You have to understand this. You have to. Because I'm telling you right now, things that are going to be happening in the near future, as far as the restructuring of our economy and the restructuring of our country, are going to hit on this. People are going to wake up to this, and there is no way that we can move forward with dismantling the Federal Reserve without addressing the issue of the Social Security number as well as the birth certificate and getting back to our roots as the United States of America instead of the corporate United States of America, all capitals, flag infringed with gold banners, tassels, okay? Our rights shall not be infringed. Why do you think that United States flag behind President Donald Trump has fringe on it? You have to understand, man, this is all a game. They don't lie to you about anything. They tell you how it is. Most people are just too blind to see it. God bless and have a great day.